just introduce yourself and say what you do in the band.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm Corey from Norma Jean. Is this online?
Yeah,
now? Is this directly to the internet?
No. We're doing this. It's cool.
That's impossible.
So I guess to start off, you guys just put out a new record,
Meridional, you got it.
Confusing to say.
Yeah.
Which shows definitely a lot of like musical growth progression from the Anti-Mother. How have the reactions been to the new music?
We've been pretty excited so far. I mean, you never know really what to expect when you make a record. You just have to put it out and hope that it works. We knew we loved it, but the response has been great. I mean, we couldn't be happier, for sure.
How's it been going over like, live as opposed to like people just listening to it
Great.
at home?
We did a few shows on the way to Canada on a tour we did in November, just in the States, and we played some new stuff we haven't really played. It was like one of the first times we played that stuff. And went over great. People knew the words, sing along, so that's always a good sign.
Is it weird at all having, I know you guys have been like Grammy nominated and stuff, but is it weird having an album that appeared on the Billboard charts? So it's pretty high up there as far as numbers go.
Yeah, that's definitely weird. I mean, when we were all growing up and trying to be in bands, we had no idea that any of that kind of stuff was going to happen. So we're very grateful for all that stuff. We don't take it for granted.
All right. Your music has still maintained like a level of heaviness, despite like having like more mature sound, and like how have you guys found I guess the balance for that when it seems like a lot of bands who like use the term "oh, we've matured" or "we've progressed" end up like losing a lot of that heavy sound, or they kind of have a pseudo heavy sound like to them.
Yeah.
Whereas like with you guys it sounds like a more natural progression, but it always sounds like Norma Jean.
Yeah, I think for us when we love all different kinds of music, we always have. But when we write songs, we love heavy music, and that's what we were, that's what we were raised on pretty much, and we love it. There's the intensity of it, and being able to I remember the first punk rock show I ever went to. I didn't even know bands, would scream for a song.
Yeah.
Like that was weird to me. I was young and I was like, wow, like they're so into what they're singing about that they have to scream about it. Like that's how I kind of interpreted that.
Like the emotional out there, kind of like
yeah, I think what band was it? There was some Texas band I can't remember, but and I was instantly the band I was in at the time. We basically took all of our songs, which were us trying to sound like Sunny Day Real Estate.
Not a bad thing right there.
No, I mean, we sucked at it, but
not bad at all.
all we did was just turn up a lot more and screamed everything, and it was like, whoa, this is great. So I had this like melodic, like kind of Union of Uranus feel, like, and those were some of our favorite bands too that we had just gotten into. So like Gravity Records bands and stuff. And we were just learning at the time. So
speaking of your songs, like, how do you guys come up with your song titles? A lot of them are like pretty obscure and just like, I guess just like a lot more thought out.
Yeah, song titles, we'll think of them throughout the year, like the record cycle. Someone will say something, or we'll think of something and we'll write it down. Like that's a song title, and it'll just kind of make itself. And then basically what we do is we apply meaning to it instead of writing a song and then trying to name it. That's a lot harder to do, I think. What we try to do is find the title and then apply meaning to that.
Alright. Being that you guys are a band that's released 5 records and done plenty of touring, does it make writing like new music more difficult? Or like do you guys feel like you put more pressure on yourself since you know what you're fully capable of? As far as like writing
I don't think we do know what we're fully capable of. Because I think we kind of feel like there's always room to learn. You're never, once you get to a place where you're like, yeah, we're the best and we know everything, I think that's when you start being kind of mediocre in a way. Like, we think there's always more to learn, and and we don't even think we're that good at our instruments, honestly. We just love playing music, and we're highly influenced, and we've always kind of kept that mindset so that we don't get ahead of ourselves.
Good. What are some musical influences for you guys that weren't prominent now, like when you guys started, but are more prominent since you guys have formed, like especially on the new records?
You saying like a difference from like when they started? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Like musical influences that we
Yeah,
have.
as far as like you like.
Like he's saying like as far as like
Right.
weren't around, or not really weren't around, more so like new bands you've discovered along the way that have really influenced you, anything like that?
Okay. Gosh, I don't know. That's. I think there's so much music these days, and as much as I try to keep up with everything, I really do too. Like, I like to keep up. I don't want to be that old dude that is like, what are these kids doing today? I understand that like things change, and what becomes popular is going to change too. Just like when I was a kid, people older than me like, that stuff sucks. I'm like, I love it though. I don't know. So I can't really name anything really right now, but I do like what there are some new bands that I'm really digging these days.
Okay.
Especially lately, actually, there's been a lot of really cool bands that we're kind of starting a little bit to break away from the what's it called? The auto-tune thing that's the herpes of music. This has affected every single kind of music.
It's true.
Do you think the music scene, I guess, is like, how has it changed, I guess, from when you guys got started? And do you think it's like for the better or for the worse? Because like a lot of people are complaining, as far I guess like record labels are complaining that the music scene is like just like downloading and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you think the music scene, I guess, since you guys started band, is like better or worse? How's it changed?
It seems to me, and I mean, this is speculation too, it almost seems like the ebb and flow seems to be kind of rebooting in a way. And now, I mean, we're against the downloading, of course. This is our livelihood, it's our job, and that's natural. But it is contributing to that factor, and I think it kind of is making bands think a little harder about what they're doing. And it's almost like when the music industry went from glam, high profile, big shows, makeup, and everything was big, to just Seattle grunge, like out of nowhere, and just cut the throat of the music industry. So I kind of feel that a little bit. It's just a lot more populated now. I mean, obviously we have the internet and stuff.
Definitely.
You don't even have to have a label anymore. Just put your songs online and go on tour.
Right.
That's awesome to me.
Definitely, it's like a lot easier as far as even like just from like a few years ago to like now, as far as getting stuff out there.
For sure.
It seems like you guys have the ability to play to a lot of different types of crowds. As far as like you guys are on Mayhem Fest or whatever, you guys have played Warped Tour, and then like you guys can play like smaller shows like this. I guess like what is your would you rather play to new fans, I guess, or like I guess more diehard fans that like been in you guys for a while, or does it like really matter?
I think this kind of came up. That's a great question, actually.
That's like, all right, man.
That's a really good question.
No, for
and
sure.
It's something that we've thought about because
this
came up as we were doing Oh God, the Aftermath. We released it, and second record, we saw like the reaction to it, and you see people go, Bless the Martyrs, way better. And we were like, no, like at first, like, and so mad, but after a while we thought about it, like, well, there are a lot of people that do love the new record too, and then so on. We did Redeemer, and that happened again, and we started to think, well, you know what, like, we love that record too. Like, at least you guys like one of our records, so come to the show. We're gonna play something off every record. We're glad that we have fans. Like, one of my favorite bands in the world is the Smashing Pumpkins.
Right on.
My favorite record is Siamese Dream. Anything after that is like, I like it, but that's my favorite record, and so I understand that as a fan too, that you can have your favorite record, and
You can still
it's not
appreciate the other
right.
stuff,
I still love the band, even though Melancholy I wasn't as into it.
I think the first disc on that record's really good, and the second one's kind of
Yeah,
a lot of filler like B-sides.
It's just so many songs, I think it seems like they didn't try as hard, but
yeah.
I mean, that's
all open
that's
to
kind of the way we
interpretation.
see it. Like,
So, yeah.
okay, well, awesome. You like that record? We're gonna play stuff off of it because we love it too. We're glad that you at least like something we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'll ask you last question since some of these questions I don't think they're
Okay.
Well then. Alright, you've probably been asked this before, but I'm gonna try to get word it differently. Being that you guys are a Christian band, but you guys aren't like super like in your face about it, was that like a choice as far as like, cause if like some people will get the like preconceived notion or like, I don't want to use like prejudice, but like oh it's heavy, but like, oh you're a Christian man, I don't want to listen to it, like this guy I work with is like that, and like regardless if it was good music, the fact that they were a Christian like didn't want anything to do with it,
Yeah.
and like that's fine, it's his opinion, but like I feel like you guys have done a good job of like not like hiding it, but not being like in your face about it, like
Right.
oh like blah blah, where I think like was that like I guess
On purpose?
yeah was that on
Kind
purpose,
of.
or?
I think we think we've always believed that music is a sound. You can't have a belief. If someone claps their hands, you can't say if it's Christian or not Christian or evil or good or whatever. Like it really comes down to the content of the lyrics. But that's what we've kind of maintained. We're music lovers, and when we write a song, we aren't thinking, well, that doesn't sound very Christian.
Yeah.
That's impossible to do. So, I think that the whole point of lyrics is to talk about what you believe in. Like, and in that sense, we're no different from our peers. Every band sings about what they believe in, or most of them. So, in that sense, we're doing the same thing as everyone else. And I think the music speaks for itself.
Alright.
I think it's
Well,
good answer.
P-Side Music, thank you. I guess I really appreciate that. Good.
Last words? No? Last words, I guess.
Any last
No,
words,
anything?
I guess?
No?
To the camera.
No, I don't have any last words today.
Well, thank
All
you
right.
Feeling
so
pretty
much.
good about this.
Oh, yeah. This is a direct feed.
Yeah, direct. Already on.
Yep.
People are watching us.